Hello everyone, my name's David. I collect Marvel Legends and I get a little obsessive about it. I made one random video and all of a sudden it got a little bit popular, so I made more and here we are. I've got my own YouTube channel. This first video is, as you might expect, it's my first ever video. So it's a little rough around the edges. It's kind of a learning experience. I'm learning YouTube making on the job. So don't judge me by this first video. Stick around, check out the later ones. They're much better. But that notwithstanding, I hope that you enjoy this. I had a blast making it, people enjoyed watching it, and I made a whole bunch more. So I hope you appreciate the difficult early work of David Display's model behavior, and welcome to the party.
I've seen that guy somewhere. On TV.
Hello everyone, I have been wanting to make a Legends video for a long time, but I didn't know really what to make it about since there are so many reviews out there for different figures. So I thought I'd do something a bit different. I would show you how I put together my basic Spider-Man display. I thought it would give us a fun chance to go over some of my favourite figures. Now, I don't have any particular skill when it comes to putting figures together or putting displays together. It's just something I enjoy doing. So I figured, why not share this with the world? And what better way to start than with Adrian Toomes' The Vulture, one of the newest additions to the collection. And he's one that I'm a big fan of. I think the head sculpt with the rather gross liver spots looks terrific. And of course the figure comes with a Blackie Draco head as well, which is a lovely addition. I love extra heads, even if I never use them. It's just great to have them to play about, and I love how they add to the lore of the character as well. What it is missing though is a youthful Vulture head, a youthful Adrian Toomes head. Because I love kind of modeling and recreating different storylines with the figures, and of course you could do life theft from the early 90s in Amazing Spider-Man, where the Vulture, develops the ability to suck people's life energy in a story which coincidentally sucked. So much so that he killed Peter Parker's parents, who weren't really his parents. They were sort of androids that were created by the Chameleon, that were created by Harry Osborn. You know what? The more I think about it, let's not do that. Ever. Let's instead get back to the task at hand. So we have our first figure in the display, and of course with a flying figure it's going to be slightly elevated, which is great, so it's at the back of the display. It's going to have figures in front of it, but it doesn't matter because he's up in the air and he's got that big wingspan, so he takes up a lot of space. Excuse me while I hit the table. Don't see Shartimus Prime doing that, but hey, this is my first time out, what are you going to do? But in the name of physics, we've got to bear in mind that this is just precariously balanced, so we need a solid figure to keep this weight down and distribute that weight evenly. And who better, who more solid than this unit here? The Kingpin Build-A-Figure. This Build-A-Figure is one of those ones that everyone seems to like, from those I speak to anyway. In a time where some folks were complaining that our Build-A-Figures weren't big enough, we weren't getting our money's worth, we get this huge big beast of a figure and he looks great. Of course, the first time I saw him I thought, excellent, but why the plain white suit? You know, I grew up on the more colourful Kingpin from the animated series with the cravat and the colourful trousers, and I would lie awake at night thinking to myself, if only Hasbro had coloured him with those better, brighter, more vibrant colours. It's almost as if they want us to buy more figures, because lo and behold, just announced this beautiful redesigned Kingpin. You know what, I'm not even mad because it looks terrific. They already have my pre-order money. As much as I like the existing Kingpin, you know he's going to get turned into a Shadow King, and then we're going to have beautiful 90s animated Kingpin to go on the display. Next up we have arguably Spidey's greatest enemy, the Green Goblin, flying in here on his Goblin glider, which I think we can all agree doesn't look great. The glider, not the character, because I think personally this Goblin looks fantastic. What a surprise. Dave loves another figure. But I think the head sculpt on this is terrific. I love the menacing grin, the bright yellow eyes, and I love how his hood comes down over the face, giving it just this great sort of medieval sort of look, which I know is not classic Green Goblin, which I understand a lot of people kind of lament, especially sort of with the chainmail looking scales as well. It's not what people want for their golden age sort of vintage Goblin, but rumour has it that Hasbro are going to be re-releasing the character redesigned in that golden age format, so I think that's going to make a lot of people very happy. And next up, we're going to keep it vintage with the very vintage Kraven the Hunter from the Spider-Man 2-pack. This was a figure that I was very happy to see released because I got onto the Marvel Legends train just a little bit too late to get the one that came out previously with the more modern look with the skull knee pads and the different sort of sculpt, which I actually am a big fan of. I like that more modern take on the character, but considering that's part of the Rhino Build-A-Figure wave, I knew that I was not going to get that for love nor money. So I was very happy to see this classic looking Kraven come out, and he does look great. I love the maniacal expression on his face, the leopard print leggings, which are just so wonderfully 60s, just harkens back to Stan Lee and Jack Kirby at that real kind of vintage age. So he's terrific. Not easy to stand in very dynamic poses. For whatever reason, they sculpted him in this weird sort of sideways leaning forward kind of pose, which is he looks great in the box, but it's not easy to keep him stood up, which is why the spear really comes in handy as well. You can use that as kind of a tripod effect to make sure that he doesn't go toppling over and causing all the other figures to fall like dominoes. Now the next figure I'm going to place below on the surface itself, and this figure is kind of a beast. You wonder where the beef is? It's the Rhino Build-A-Figure! Yeah, that's right, it's the Rhino! Now, of course, this is the bath that everyone... you got me. I don't have the Rhino bath. Who does? Actually, a frustrating number of people, it would seem. But I'm happy for them, because I have a Headless Select! And don't worry, this isn't too sacrilegious. Sacrilegious. This is a knockoff Select Rhino, but actually it's really good quality. God bless you, knockoff makers. The articulation is, as good as the Select. Sturdy, nice and heavy. It's like a brick, actually. So I love this body. It's not that different from the bath itself. So with the bath head I have, plonk that in place. And there you go. Is it the bath? Only, well, Marvel collectors know for sure, but who cares? I think he fills up the space nicely, and we're just waiting for that re-release. Come on! We got that vintage Spider-Man wave. Come on, Hasbro, bring out a vintage, slightly redesigned, but not too much, Rhino so that I can take this little Frankenstein job out of my display. So to wrap up the first part of this video, because I don't want this to go too long, I'm going to stick with the animal theme and we're going to bring in Mac Gargan the Scorpion. This is a figure that has not been met with the most warm of receptions. I think a lot of people complain that he's a little bit too small, a little bit too scrawny, and I completely agree, to be honest. And it's such a shame because Hasbro were close. There are good things about this. But a lot of people say he should have been on the Omega Red body, which is a nice, big, bulky figure, and I completely agree. That would be much more appropriate for Mac Gargan. Especially because he's not meant to be just a normal human, I don't think. I mean, the experiments that JJ did with him, they sort of incorporated Scorpion DNA, didn't they? I know that was the case in the cartoon, I think. I assume that was in the comics as well. Well, I certainly should know that. But either way, yeah, he should be a bigger, more imposing looking figure. On the plus side, though, comic accuracy, besides the size, is great. They got the lines in the body, and the head is a big bone of contention, and I understand that with the face mask. The face mask is comic accurate, but I'd never actually liked that look because it doesn't really make sense. What's happening with the face? Is it Does the mask like include his lips as well? Is it a lip mask that comes over that, or does he paint his lower face and lips green? Why does it look like that? I need things to make sense. So I agree that a lot of people have painted the lower half of the face, and it looks really good. So I understand that, that's a way to go, and I totally would sign off on that. If I had the skills, I would totally do that as well. But really, Hasbro missed the boat on that. They should have given us another head. But at least we can all be happy that we didn't get the horrible, overly complex redesign that John, either way, that John came up with for the Spider-Man relaunch. I think that's a reason why I love the Clone Saga so much, because what came after it was awful. Thank goodness we don't have to reference that anymore. So, having just alienated a whole bunch of people with that last comment, I think it's probably time to wrap this up. So, thank you very much for watching. There's still a whole lot of other figures to add, but, we're going to space this out a little bit. Don't want to bombard you with my crazy ramblings. So, if you enjoyed this, then, yeah, let me know. Leave a little comment, and there'll be a whole lot more to add as we go on. So, I look forward to doing more videos, and I hope that you enjoy watching them. Alright, have fun with your legends.